Okay, so let's unpack this amazing genre that's sort of the great contradiction in rock music, the rock ballad.
It really is. We're talking about songs that have all the power of an electric guitar, but also, the emotional core of a really heartfelt poem.
It's such a specific formula, isn't it? It takes that typical hard rock energy, but channels it through a slower, super emotional melody.
It's like calculated vulnerability.
And that calculation really started, what, back in the 1970s? And then it just exploded in the
Yeah,
80s.
exactly. Bands known for these heavy, loud riffs suddenly decided they needed to show a softer side.
And these tracks became the way to do it. They used them to tell stories about really personal feelings, like missing home or facing some big life challenge.
And what's so fascinating is that it served two purposes. Artistically, it showed everyone the band had range, but from a business standpoint, it was genius.
Right.
A huge, loud rock concert needs a moment to breathe, and these slower songs were perfect for that. Thousands of fans all singing along together.
And the radio stations absolutely loved them. These were the songs that broke heavy bands into the mainstream because the lyrics just appealed to everybody.
It became the blueprint. Every major rock band had to have that one slower, powerful song on the album. It was a guaranteed hit.
Best of both worlds, really.
And that strategic design is exactly why these songs still connect with us today. They're built to be human.
So let's get into that musical blueprint. How do they actually build this huge emotional journey with just instruments?
It all comes down to tension and release, what we call contrast. You start quiet, and you build and build until you get to a roar.
And for that, you need both acoustic and electric instruments working together, right?
Absolutely. Think about a song like Stairway to Heaven. That acoustic guitar at the beginning is the anchor for the whole first part of the song.
I love that patient start. It's usually a really simple acoustic guitar pattern or maybe a gentle piano melody that just sets a thoughtful mood. You're sort of waiting for it all to kick off.
Exactly. And the song structure demands that it stays gentle through that first verse. Then, slowly, the volume starts to climb. The drums come in, but not with a huge solo.
No, it's a steady, strong beat. It's the backbone, not the main event.
Right. And then you have the bass guitar, which is so essential.
It makes the rhythm feel so deep and full, you can physically feel it, and it adds this sense of seriousness and weight.
And here's where the atmosphere comes from. Bands started weaving in synthesizers. They aren't usually playing the main melody, but they create this huge, wide background sound.
Like a wash of sound that makes everything feel massive.
For sure. And for maximum drama, especially in the late 70s and 80s, they'd even bring in orchestral strings, violins, cellos.
Oh yeah, those sweeping high notes that come in right before the guitar solo.
The whole point is that deliberate swell in volume. It's a journey from the quietest moment to the loudest. It's like musical theater.
And that buildup leads us right into the song's structure, which is so recognizable. The pattern is designed to take the listener on an emotional ride.
It is. It starts with that quiet intro and the soft first verse. The lyrics introduce the theme, but the music is still holding back. But then the chorus hits.
Boom, the music just explodes, the drums get bigger, the guitars get distorted and loud, and the vocals usually jump up an octave.
That loud-soft dynamic is the engine of the rock ballad. It's what gives the song that immediate lift.
So after the second chorus, we usually get the bridge, right?
Yes, and the bridge is crucial. It changes the melody just a little bit, gives your ears a break from the main theme, and it builds all this tension that points directly toward the climax.
And that climax is almost always that iconic guitar solo. The whole band is at maximum volume, and it's this huge moment right before they circle back for one final super powerful chorus.
And then to wrap it all up, the ending brings you back down to earth. Most ballads don't just stop, they fade out slowly, or they return to that single quiet instrument that started the whole thing.
It gives you a sense of closure.
A resolution, yeah.
So what are they actually singing about during all this drama? The themes seem to focus on things that are pretty universal.
They really do. The writers tap into these common, often difficult human experiences. Themes like longing, missing someone. A lot of songs are about the struggle of being on the road for months.
And friendship and loyalty are huge topics too, right? But often it's about love that's going through some kind of struggle.
Definitely. And another big one is personal growth. Anthems about overcoming a challenge, or moving past a painful time, or finally making a big life decision.
And the language is always so clear. They avoid using overly complicated words because they want the message to hit you immediately.
That lets the emotional honesty really shine through. You don't need a dictionary to understand what the singer is feeling.
And that simplicity is why they last. The singers put so much raw emotion into their voices, and that vulnerability creates this direct connection with you, the listener. It's why they become anthems for generations.
Speaking of raw emotion, let's talk about the 1980s, the golden age of the power ballad.
Ah, yes. The power ballad was all about two things: massive vocal performances and production that made everything sound enormous.
And the big sound trick behind all of that was reverb. In the 80s, it was not subtle. Reverb is an effect that makes it sound like you're playing in a giant space, like a cathedral. But the real key was something called gated reverb.
Oh, that's the sound that defined 80s drums. Can you break down what that is?
So producers would put a ton of reverb on the snare drum, making it sound huge, but then they would instantly cut the echo off, like a gate slamming shut, before it could fade out naturally.
Which gives you that explosive but really tight stadium-sized drum sound.
Exactly. You hear it all over songs by bands like Def Leppard or on Phil Collins's records.
And that huge sound was a commercial guarantee. These tracks dominated the charts in the US and England. They became these defining cultural moments.
The lighter moment at a concert.
Yes. Or now, the phone flashlight. That slow song was the cue for everyone to hold one up and create that sea of light.
But to sing these songs, especially live, you need incredible vocal skill, a huge range. A rock ballad singer has to go from being quiet and intimate to just projecting with full power.
It's a total physical performance. In the verse, the vocalist might start low and breathy, almost whispering.
And then as the music builds, the singer has to match it, reaching for these really high sustained notes. And it's not just shouting, it requires perfect breath control to hold those notes.
A lot of the great singers also add what's called raspiness, that gritty texture in their voice that adds so much raw emotion.
For sure, think of Axl Rose. That texture adds a depth that a perfectly clean vocal just can't match.
And then there's vibrato, that slight wavering of the pitch on a long note.
Right, that's what makes a vocal sound so polished and professional. It keeps the note from sounding flat and gives it that expressive quality.
And just before that final massive chorus, we always get the dramatic peak, the guitar solo.
The timing is so important. It almost always happens about 2/3 of the way through the song, right after the bridge, to just ramp up the energy one last time.
Yeah. And what's so cool is that the guitarist isn't just showing off their speed. They're using the guitar to create a melody that's meant to sound like a human voice.
It's like a wordless story, picking up where the singer left off.
How do they get that singing sound?
They use effects pedals to make the note sustain, which just means the note holds its sound for a very long time, ringing out dramatically.
And just like the rest of the song, the solo has its own build-up, doesn't it? It usually starts off slow and melodic.
But then it gets faster and more technical toward the end, showcasing the musician's skill right before that final explosion of sound. It's this huge injection of energy.
So the recording process for these must be incredibly detailed. You have to capture everything from a delicate piano intro to a full-on drum explosion.
Oh, it's all about intense layering. Engineers will use multiple microphones on every single instrument. They might even record the drums in a huge room to capture a natural echo before they even add digital effects.
And producers spend hours just balancing the quiet and loud sections.
Right.
They have to make sure that shift is powerful but doesn't, blow your speakers.
Layering the vocals is another big trick. They'll record multiple harmonies for the chorus to make it sound like a giant choir is backing up the lead singer.
All this work meant these songs went way beyond just being tracks on an album. They became these cultural touchstones.
Totally. Think about movies and TV. Whenever there's a big emotional scene, chances are you'll hear a power ballad to crank up the feeling. It's like instant emotional gravity.
And they define those big life moments. People use them for weddings, and of course, they're always the #1 choice for karaoke.
Everyone in the room knows the words. It's a safe bet.
It's also interesting how the flavor of a rock ballad can change depending on where the band is from.
Definitely. If you listen to a ballad from an American band, say Aerosmith, you'll often hear a little bit of country or blues influence in the guitar playing. Gives it a grittier feel.
Whereas British rock ballads, like from Queen, often have more creative, almost theatrical melodies and complex structures.
Yeah, there's a bit more of a classical sensibility. And then bands from Europe, like the Scorpions from Germany, might use more synthesizers, giving it a more polished electronic sound.
But no matter the regional differences, that core emotional goal is always the same.
Exactly. And the music expresses that feeling so well that language barriers don't really matter.
And seeing one live is something else. When a ballad starts, the stage lights drop, it gets quiet, and a huge stadium suddenly feels intimate.
The whole audience is just waiting, and then when that huge chorus hits, thousands of people are singing together. That shared emotional release is often the most powerful part of a concert.
The legacy of the rock ballad just keeps growing because the format works so well. These songs are like a masterclass for new musicians on how to combine melody with power.
And because the themes, loyalty, love, struggle, they never go out of style, older ballads are always being rediscovered by younger listeners.
Ultimately, these songs became a permanent part of our musical landscape because they use this carefully designed structure to tap into really powerful, honest human emotions.
The rock ballad proves that sometimes real power comes from showing exactly where you're vulnerable.
Keep listening and enjoy the classics.